What did the wise men expect to find when they traveled so far to Jerusalem? A child, certainly. Because the star they had seen indicated a birth. But surely a royal child living in a palatial surroundings. The wise men were definitely expecting someone special, very special. They didn't go rushing across the world every time an ordinary king was born. They had come with the special intention of worshipping and bringing gifts to this great king that the signs had told them about. They had great expectations. We read, "We saw a star when it rose and have come to worship him." Their worship was not a sudden surge of emotion at seeing the Christ child. Nor, of course, could it be because of something Jesus had done. They were convinced because of the star that a world-shaking event had occurred in the arrival of the anointed child of God. It was beyond all expectations. Let's have a look at how the men featured in these verses reacted to the news of the birth of the Messiah. We have the fearful man. When King Herod learned that the wise men were searching for a newborn Jewish king, he was disturbed, perhaps even terrified. His security, his status, and authority would be threatened. Herod feared that the coming of a new king would change his own life, so he made plans to eliminate the opposition. And despite his words, maybe you remember them, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." But we know Herod had no intention of worshiping the newborn king. Today, some people still feel threatened by the coming of Jesus because they are afraid of the changes that will come if they opened themselves completely to the influence he seeks to have on our lives. Others set limits to their allegiance, afraid that if they did not do so, they would be led in ways that they do not wish to go. Like Herod, they are disturbed by him and choose to reject him. So we had the fearful man. We have a religious man. Herod's advisors in religious affairs, being Jewish scholars, knew from the study of Micah the expected birthplace of the Messiah. We read it together. "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." The words of Micah 5, verse 2. Presumably, they knew of the visit of the wise men to the royal palace. And it seems incredible that they did not go also to find the baby. I guess if you hear someone found or discovered something very special, we would want to see it also. You would want to go also. If your neighbor discovers there's a very good discount offer in a store, you might say, "Hey, I'm going there too." I don't want to compare the birth of Jesus with discount, but just as an example. And maybe they were unable to do so because of the attitude of Herod. Maybe that held them back. Possibly they believed that as the religious elite of their day, they would be the first to know when the Messiah was born, and did not expect God to entrust such news to Gentiles, however important. It is possible to miss a revelation of God in life simply because we do not expect to find it, or because we are influenced by other people in some negative way. But when we limit God in this way, we may miss his message to us and, like these religious men, fail to worship him. So we had the fearful man, we had the religious man, and we have the wise man. The wise man followed the star, even when it led them to a house in an obscure town. We read it stopped over the place where the child was. The star stopped there, and they knew they had to be there. We are not told whether they were surprised at the humble surroundings, but we are told that they were very filled with joy, and immediately they fell to the ground and worshipped Jesus. They had found the child and responded in an appropriate manner to the birth of a king, with gifts and with great joy. We read this: when they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The wise men worshipped him because he was someone worthy of their worship, a uniquely special king whose birth had been proclaimed across the skies of the world. Their actions were not fully appreciated until years later, when it was shown that the child was important beyond all expectations. King not only of the Jews, but of the whole world, Gentile and Jewish alike. God does not always lead in the ways that we would expect. But if we are his people, we will follow. We will bring our gifts with joy as we worship him. The true meaning of worship is giving to Jesus something that we value. It is the offering of ourselves. God laid aside his power and glory to become like us, frail and human, and in doing so, opened the way for each of us to have a personal relationship with God. And we're going to take a moment and sing song 623, where it talks about that, about giving our life to God, where we sing, "Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise." This song excellently expresses how we can use all that we have to worship God. Well, the wise men would not have been able to express the reason for their worship with a personal God. But they listened to what God was saying in their hearts and followed the signs that he sent. And they found the Christ. And they worshipped him. Our daily or perhaps weekly act of worship is not just a singing of hymns or songs and scoring a few feel-good notches on the scale. Our worship is saying in the words of the song we just sang, "Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee." What shall we offer to Christ, who for our sakes appeared on earth as a human? The angels offered a song, the heavens a star, the wise men gifts, the shepherds their wonder, the earth its home, the stable its manger. But we can offer ourselves in loving worship.